Hira.
Hello, namaste.
Namaste. Everyone, I'm so thrilled to be joined by HIRA DAHal. She's in Kathmandu in Nepal. HIRA and I met more than 10 years ago, I believe, and we did meet through art therapy. Working with girls and women, which this is HIRA's life work is to improve conditions for girls and women in Nepal, especially to stop exploitation. Is that right, HIRA?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So a little bit of background. HIRA has agreed to join us because she's not only the director of a not-for-profit organisation called Chhori, she's the executive director, but HIRA has also just recently published a book called Pulmaya. So we're just going to hear a little bit about HIRA, about what brought you to your life work in preventing the exploitation of girls and women, and then we'll hear a little bit about the book, if that's okay.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So would you be able to tell us about how your life led you to want to work against the exploitation of girls and women?
Yeah, I have to go back to my own future. While I was born in a remote village of Nepal, and I have experienced different kinds of exploitation, abuse, and what we say, like the cultural variation between girls and daughters is always there in our country, and I experienced it by myself. I was not treated well while I was in my first period, and while I go to school, I had faced different discrimination, and at home I had the same kind of discrimination I experienced in my life. I have seen the same kind of life of my friends, and while I moved to the city to study and learning many things, I understood more about the gender discrimination that there is in between girls and boys, and it was a kind of my own experiences that was motivating me to find the places where I can work and learn more about the situation of the country. And luckily I got chance to work in the organization called Shakti, which is the anti-trafficking organization established by trafficking survivors, and that gave me a larger space to understand about the situation of human trafficking in Nepal, how the trafficking survivors' lives are going on here, and how the society treat to them. So it gave me a kind of vision that I should spend my whole life working against human trafficking, working against gender-based violence, and to give justice to the survivors of trafficking. So I'm working from that time. It's been more than 20 years that I am working in the sector and supporting more than 4,000, 5,000 girls and women who experience human trafficking, sexual slavery, and exploitation. So this is the journey that I started, and now I am executive director of the organization called Chhori. It was founded by me and my other friends, and Chhori means daughter in Nepali. So we have a vision to create a society where every daughter feel treated, equally valued like a son in the society. So we are working with girls and women who are exploited, who are in human trafficking, who are sexually exploited in the workplace and exploited in their labor, and we also work with the girls and women who are facing discrimination in the society, who are at high vulnerable of human trafficking. And we try to not just aware them about the situation of the country, but also we want them to understand that the system of the state, the culture of the country, and to fight against them. We help them to empower themselves to understand that they are always valuable. Whatever situation they face in their life, we want them to understand that they are still able to do the things, still able to encourage themselves and to live a new life. So we want them to like just escape all the discrimination experiences they used to feel, the self-hatred they used to feel, and we want them to motivate themselves, motivate others, and lead a different life, and they have the power to do that. So we work in this scenario, and I am there to motivate them all the time, and we are doing very amazing job.
Yes, you are. You're so inspiring, Hira. I know you didn't get the chance to start your own education until you were 11, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the time you were 15, your family was starting to organize your marriage?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how did you manage to convince your own family to let you get some education?
Yeah, I was like, it was while I was 15, it was the circumstances of the situation of my village and the family was, it was very normal to get married of a girl who is 15. So it was not like any kind of a big issue that I realized at this moment. That I even like thought that that was a very like fearful thing for me at that time, because my friends were getting married, other girls were getting married in 15. So that was the thing. But like what I wanted to do is at that time is that I really wanted to study. I had very deep desire to continue my study, and you know that the teachers were very impressed from my education, and they used to say that you can do very good in the future. So that like motivated me that I have to study anyhow. And I told my parents, my guardians at home that I want to study and I don't want to get married at this time. So it was not easy to convince them, but since some of the family members, the male family members of my family were already educated, so they helped me to like stop waiting at that time, and I was able to continue my education.
Wow. Okay, so it sounds like you had some teachers who really believed in you, and also some allies who were the men, some of the men in your family.
Yeah.
Yeah, some help. And it's that kind of similar help that you now give to other women, I believe, that you believe in them and you help them to find a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you mentioned Shakti Samuha. Yeah. Was the first organization in the whole world that was actually set up by sex trafficking survivors themselves.
Yeah, that's the first organization established by trafficking survivors in the world, and I was lucky to reach there and spend my 10 years of beautiful time in the organization, being together with the survivors, listen their story and help them in different way. It gave me lots of like feeling of empathy that, oh, I should have to work with them. I should be able to support them in different way. And I never have like feeling that I'm scared with them, but like all the time I have the feeling that I have to be friend with them, listen to them more, and see the areas where I can support them all the time. And you know, still there are some women who was in contact with me at that time in Shakti Samuha are still in contact with me, and they like ask for support, and whatever I can do, I'm still in touch with them. And through that, it was like a seeding point of my journey against human trafficking, and it helped me to go beyond the beyond my capacity. So I just thought that I should have to work on it anyhow, and I put all of my efforts, and that helped me to grow more and reach in this situation.
So can you explain what makes a girl or a young woman more vulnerable to being trafficked?
In my experience, I see like there are two main reasons that that makes the girl more vulnerable. Like the discrimination between girls and daughter, the gender discrimination, in the family. Like if you have a son and daughter, you send the son in a good school and he has time to study at home and do better performance. But the same daughter from the same family, she cannot go to the good school, and though she goes to the school, she goes to the government school, and though she goes to the school, while she comes back to home, she has to engage in household work and support the family, and she doesn't have any time to do more study. Even she doesn't have time to do her homework. So that's one part. And the other part is like the family protection over the girls is very, very less. Like they are not valued. Like if any kind of decision has to make in the family, the parents take more opinion from the son than the daughter. And there is not the truest people who can support the daughter very well, who can protect the girls and who can listen to their feelings and support them. So that kind of protection and supportive feeling is lacking at home. And the girls who don't have either mother or father, like we work with such broken families who doesn't have both parents and who doesn't have a good supportive system. They feel they feel not like staying at home as well. And if they meet any kind of strange people, they trust so fast, and there is very high chance of leaving the house. And at the same time, you see that in the school also they don't have good supporting system. Like if they get the period, they should leave the school because they don't have good toilet at the school, and they are very vulnerable to study, and even from their friends tease them, they cannot maintain it properly, and they are not able to continue their education during that time. So, and even the teachers and the system of the schools are not protective towards them, so that makes them more vulnerable. And at the same time, the girls are more responsible to earn money for the family, because the villages where we work, we found that there is not any option to the girls rather than dropping their education and earn for the daily based work as a wages labor. And in this situation, the daughter is in the first priority to work for the family, to earn for the family. And we have found recently, I was in an interview to select the girls for the new program, and I found that so many girls have already dropped out their education and engaging in the daily based wages to earn for the family. And though they want to continue their education, the family situation makes them unable to work, unable to go to the school. And you see that if the state, if the local government provides any kind of good opportunities, a job for the family members, if the school supports to the girls to provide everything freely, and if the education is made compulsory without any dropping out from the education, probably the situation of trafficking, the vulnerable of human trafficking, might be reduced.
Mm-hmm. And so that sort of combination of gender discrimination and poor education for girls, and then the poverty of the families, and the responsibility of girls to go out and earn a living. And then there's the link with the entertainment industry, and that becomes a pathway into the sex trafficking. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They while they are in such kind of vulnerable situation at home and in the community, if they find any of their peers or any of the relatives or any of the people from the village, if they motivate that you can find a good job in the city, they are so much lured, and they are very much fast to make the decisions without knowing that what kind of work they have to do in the city. They say that you'll get a good job, and they just believe that they will find a good job and they will be able to support their family. So they just trust and leave the village. So it made them more vulnerable. And while they reach in the entertainment industry, like the cabin restaurant or the dance bar, what happens that they don't know what kind of work they are supposed to perform in the workplace. So they just say yes and start. But once they start, they find that they don't like the exploitative situation of the customers, the behavior of the owners and the customers. That is so much difficult for them. But they are in the condition that they have already promised their family to earn something and support them. And if they go back, they have the same situation, and also like they have the fear that if they tell them that they are engaged in this kind of like business here in the city, they would be like they would be like hatred from the family members and the people in the society. So they have to hide themselves everything with them, and they just say that I have got a good job in a nice place, and they start sending the money and supporting the family. So from that time, like hiding themselves, they start like getting more mentally stressed, and it's very difficult for them to manage their own life.
Yeah, and so they're hiding it for good reasons, right? Like, is there some punishments that women would be afraid of if people knew what they were doing?
Yeah, it's a like more moral punishment and emotional torture from the people. What people are behave is that like a girl or women should not like engage with sex work in any man. If she is engaged with anyone, so her moral is totally like broken, and she's become like a like not accepted person in the society. So, and it's not possible for her to get married with a good man once it is heard about her profession. And she is hated by everyone, and she also develops self-hatredness. So that's a like a big punishment throughout the life.
And I know that I have spoken with women who've also experienced being burned or things like that. Is that something that you see much of?
You mean burn?
Yeah.
Yeah, like we found it more in among the girls and women who were in the domestic scenario. Like if a girl is married with a man, and if the family has expected more dowry from the girl's family, and if the families is not able to like provide support, we have seen that so many girls are have become victim of domestic violence. And one of the type of domestic violence is also to burn the girl. So there are so many cases that are found here in Nepal.
Yeah. So let's just talk about your book, Pulmaya. Yeah. Yes. Can you explain what the word means, Pulmaya?
Pulmaya means full is a flower, Maya is love. So that is a like it talks about some positive vibes of in the name, but at the same time it has a like traditional meaning. A girl from a remote village of Nepal who represents the ethnic community, and these are the girls from ethnic communities of Nepal are more trafficked in the country. So the name of a character represents in the title of the book, and also represents her culture, her tradition, and one of the representative case of the trafficking survivors.
So you've created the novel Pulmaya based on your experience working with about 5,000 girls and women, and we'll finish up shortly, Hira, but what do you hope for the book? You know, why did you write it? What do you hope for?
I write this book because I met so many girls and women, and I listen their life, and I try to help from my like capacity. And but what I feel that is still there are so many people who never know the life of the girls and women like Pulmaya. So they don't know what kind of like what kind of circumstances a girl or traffic survivors or the women who is compelled to engage in sex work are living in. So I want the people to know about their life, and also I want them to develop an empathy for them and be ready to support these kind of girls and women from a various level, from a like a big numbers of people, and support them in their life, so that their daughters would have a beautiful life in future. So that's the main goal of writing the book.
Mm-hmm.
And I will just show you the cover. So this is there is a girl, and that represents Pulmaya in the book.
Thank you so much, HIRA. I'm so happy that we got the chance to talk with you, and I'll write a little bit more about the book, and also we're hoping that you might be able, or that you will be able to get an English translation available at some point.
Yeah, I'm in the process to making it in English as well. So the translation is going on, and we'll be able to bring to the public very soon.
Okay, terrific. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity for me to share about my life, my journey, and about the book. Thank you so much, Carla.
Thanks, HIRA.